Hey everybody, it's Angie, also known as The Light. Welcome to my channel. Please stop what you're doing, like this video, subscribe to my channel. You will not regret it. If you'd like to make a donation, please do so. My Cash App information and my PayPal information will always be in the description box below or in the comment section. So basically, when you donate to me, I email you, whether I get your email from your PayPal info, or you can send me a memo when you're sending me Cash App, and I email you and I ask you, do you have a topic? Do you have a video that you want me to do a video response on? And this is the flow of my channel. So anybody, you can just donate if you just want to, but everybody who donates to me, I'm willing to do a video response of a topic or a situation that you're going through with a narcissist. And today's video is for somebody who donated to my channel, and they emailed me and they told me their situation that they're going through. I'm leaving her name anonymous, of course, and this is a good one because I've been through this as well. It's crazy how I've been through all these crazy situations with narcissists. Sorry if I'm going to be drinking on camera. I said, you know what? I was going to wait till tomorrow to do it. I work today. I'm kind of tired, but I was like, you know what? No. My food is still cooking on the stove anyway, so I'm like, let me do this video because I really want to talk about this subject. And it's basically how can we let go of the wealthy narcissist. A lot of us are still married to the narcissist. I'm not, but a lot of us are married to narcissists. Some of us are living with our narc parents, and we got to keep it real and be honest with ourselves that money is very important. You need money to sustain in life. You need money for food. You need money for shelter. Unless you live on an island or, in the wilderness somewhere, you need money, every day to survive in, our lives. So this person who donated to me, she really is having a hard time letting go of her wealthy narc relative. And she said in the statement, she said in her paragraph that she did leave. Was able to maintain on her own. And then once the narc found out that she was making it on her own, she was financially stable, they somehow, convinced her to come back. Okay. And I've been through this as well. And you know what? The honest truth is this. If you got to say it to yourself, what is more important? Is my sanity more important, or is money more important? And it's so crazy. I call this world a matrix because it's a mind F. Okay, I'm trying not to curse on my channel every video. It really is a mind F. It really, money can put you in this place of money. It could be controlling for some of us, and it has been for me. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and lie. I like money. I don't say I love money, but I like money. I'm a Leo, so I'm such a giver. I think that's why God didn't make me a millionaire. I would probably give away my money, but I love my friends and my family. I like taking them out. I like shopping. I like helping people out in situations. But I've learned through time, like, you have to save, you have to be smart. There's some people who just want to use you for your money. They know that you're generous. Okay, so money is extremely important to a lot of us, especially us empaths, because we're just givers. We're like, whatever, I'll help them out, I'll pay for this, because money's gonna come back anyway. But sometimes money doesn't come back as fast as we would want it, and that is a part of the reason why I feel, you, my subscriber who wrote me, I feel that could be the reason why you're letting money control you. You're letting money control your life. And it's scary. It is scary as hell to have to let go of the wealthy narc. It is scary, but you have to make a decision. Is my sanity and peace more important, or is money more important to me? And I'm going to let you know, living with the narc or living under the narc's money, under the narc's household, is not healthy. It will never be peaceful. Yes, through time, you can use tactics that will keep, certain situations low key, but you're never going to be sane. You're never going to be happy. You're never going to be peaceful. To me, is my sanity worth more than money? Hell yeah, absolutely, it is. At one point, I just said, you know what? No, I'm gonna deal with this. I'll be okay. And I played that game. I had to. When I was living with my narc grandmother was alive, I played that game because I lived in New York. I knew that I couldn't sit there and pay $1,400 for one bedroom. I don't have any family. Like, my mom's dead. My father's dead. My brother and I aren't close. He's married. He wasn't going to let me. He's a very selfish person. He wasn't going to let me come live with him. And, just like everyone else, you got to save about $3 or $4 grand because you got to have first month's rent. You know how it works when you got to get an apartment, or, you're always playing catch up. And a lot of people, young people, especially, it was in my 20s with my grandmother, when I was living with her, up until 3 years ago, actually, from like my mid-20s to my early 30s, saving up, it can be a bitch when you're living from check to check, from client to client. You kind of just play the game with the narcissist to stay. And I left many times. I did the same thing that you did. Now, here's what happened. Now, first off, I don't want to put it out there like my family has money and all those things, but my narc grandmother, she was pretty well off. And not well off in a sense to me, wealth is like generational money, but this woman, she lived as if she was a poor woman. So my whole entire life, I didn't know that she had money. I thought she was just a regular city worker. My grandmother's job, she worked at a college for like 35 years and then retired. I'm not going to say what college, but it's a college in New York. And she was a manager. She did like payroll and different things like that. She was a manager for that. And I just looked at her as being just an everyday hard worker. I really didn't know about her owning like property in North Carolina and owning more property in New York. I knew that my dad had a car wash back in, I think, the 70s, 80s, and the 90s. And I know that they were in business together. So my grandmother, of course, had better credit. So my dad and her had a business together. And that business didn't, last that long. It lasted, 70s, 80s, 90s. But it eventually crumbled. And, I remember my dad and my grandmother always arguing and her always trying to control him. And my dad was also a correction officer. So when he retired, his check, he retired early because he got injured on the job. And his paycheck would come to the house. And she would hold his paycheck and think, she would do little petty things like that to control my dad. So my dad was always in that whirlwind of being entrapped because my grandmother had access to his paycheck, and access to his business. And this is what the wealthy narc does. Yes, they'll make investments in you. Yes, they'll let you live rent-free and all these different things. Because in the beginning, I started to pay when I moved in with my narc grandmother, I was paying rent and things like that. I gave her a certain amount. And then I remember one day she was like, oh, this ain't shit. And I'm looking like, what? So I stopped giving her rent. And then eventually she was like, oh, here's 2 bills that you need to pay. in the house, and I gave your uncle other bills. You gotta understand that the narc is not stupid. They know that their treatment is foul, and eventually, if they're not really doing something for you, you're gonna leave, you know. And what I realized, I moved out of my narc grandmother's home, I'm gonna say about 4 times. 4 times, guys. I moved out. I slept on my friend's couch. I didn't care. I was like, yo, I babysat my god sister's children just to sleep on her couch. I moved all the way to Texas. When I moved, you would think that when I moved out the wealthy narc's home, when like your grandchild or your child is moving, you will give them like something. Oh, here's a gift card, you know, get some towels, some sheets, some nothing. She pretending, she was acting like she was crying when I moved out, when I moved to Texas in 2013. She was acting like she was crying. She was crying because I was leaving her narc web, her narc nest, okay? Oh, that's a good one, the narc nest. Okay, she was upset that I was escaping her narc nest. She did not give me $5, $10. She didn't say anything. She was crying, and I was on my way to the airport, and she was just like, oh, have a safe flight, and was crying. I was looking at her like, what the hell is she crying for? You treat me like shit, and you're crying because I'm moving? Whatever. It did not work out in Texas. I ended up not even liking Houston. No offense to those who live in Houston, but Houston, Texas is not for me. I love Dallas, you know, but Houston, Texas wasn't for me. And then the person I moved with had narc drama down there. Almost witnessed a narc killing them in the house. So I moved back to New York. And you know, she had to punish me. So when I moved back in the house, in the narc's house, the bedroom that I had slept in for years, she took my bedroom. That's how petty. And the only bedroom that was left over was like the smallest bedroom in the house, which was fine. And I took that bedroom. And I remember the other times that I moved out the narc house, the wealthy narc's house, she would call the golden child, tell the golden child to call me. She would never call me and say, hey, Angie, how are you doing? Do you need money? Do you need food? Are you all right out there? Are you okay? No, she would never do that. She would send the golden child to call me. And to those who don't know what a golden child is, the golden child is basically the narc's favorite, okay? And you're most likely, a lot of times, you're going to be the scapegoat. You're going to be the black sheep of the family. I was the black sheep. My father was a black sheep to the narcissistic grandmother. So anyway, she would tell the golden grandchild to call me, and she would tell me, the golden child would say, oh, you know, grandma misses you so much. She's crying. She says that you can move back in, how you don't belong with anyone else. You belong home. And we need to stick together because we're a family, and we don't want the rest of the family to talk shit about grandma. So you need to move back in. And, you know, back then, I didn't know what narcissism was. I fell for it, and I would move back in the house. And the same shit, actually, the abuse intensified. So I think that's what you're going through because of what I've read. Nothing changed. The narc's not going to change for you. Your narc relative asks you to move back in the house so that they need someone where they're gonna throw their energy, their negative energy on. They need you in the house. It's also making them look good, okay? You said that you lost all your savings. Now, I do hope and pray you living in this narc household, if you decide to stay and take the abuse, I hope that you're in that will. I hope you got life insurance coming to you. I hope that you are staying there. I hope that your name will probably be on the house, that you would get something out of it. Because if not, get out. Why would you stay? If you think that you're not on the will, you think that you're not going to own any properties, any house, or anything like that, then why would you stay just because you're getting cheap rent? Now, my advice to you would be save some money and get the hell out. But just know they are going to talk about you. Your family's going to go against you probably. You have to be ready. When you do things like this, you have to be ready. For me, I was never attached to any of my family members. They treated me like crap my whole life. So when I moved out, they didn't have to talk to me. Bye. You don't want to talk to me, but talking to me my whole life. You treating like crap my whole life. So you have to be ready and be in that mindset. Your family may never speak to you again. They're gonna be the flying monkeys. They're gonna instantly be like, why you leaving? Most likely, your relative is probably giving them money. Your wealthy relative is giving them money, doing things for them. So you have to be ready. One, I'm never gonna tell you to go somewhere and you are not financially prepared. So financially prepare yourself. If you're working and you're paying dirt rent cheap, that means to save. It could take you a year, but save your money. Or when your income tax, I don't know where you live, but if you have an income tax check, put that aside, pack your bag, and go. If you got to get a studio, do that. I'm telling you, you would be peaceful. As for me, I didn't really find out my grandmother was wealthy like that until my dad died in 2003. But I didn't know the extent of it. Now here's what happened. My father died and I was getting like $5,000, which is nothing, okay? So my wealthy grandmother came to me and was like, oh, that's your father? I feel like you need to help me pay for his funeral. I was stupid back then, guys. I mean, my dad, me and him didn't even have a good relationship. And I tell you, I'm a person, like, I am just so giving. I'm very giving. I'm smarter now. But even then, I was worse. So do you know that I paid out of my $5,000, $4,000 half of the funeral? I only had $1,000 left for myself. After taxes, I remember it was an $800 check. That is in how unselfish I am, even though my father and I did not have a good relationship. So the day of my dad, now I'm going to write a book, okay? The day of my father's funeral was my mother's wedding. So in the morning, I went to my father's funeral at like 9-10 o'clock in the morning, and I was my mother's maid of honor by 6 o'clock in the evening. My mom had a evening wedding, okay? And after my dad's funeral, I went to the cemetery. We did it all in one day. They did my dad's funeral and his burial all in one day. My grandmother, she probably just wanted to hurry up and bury her what is it called? Her scapegoat child. She didn't want to draw it out. So my grandmother and I, because it was my signature and my grandmother's signature, we go to the cemetery. We're sitting in the office and we're doing like a payment plan or whatever. So I don't know why. I don't remember clearly what papers I was signing, but I know because I paid for like the embalming of the body or whatever. So I had to sign some papers. So I signed some papers. My grandmother signed some papers, and I look and I see that my grandmother bought two, not one. She bought two mausoleums. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. She bought two mausoleums, and the price was like $20,000 to $25,000. I looked at her like, but you broke though. Are you serious? Are you serious? Then she goes in her pocketbook, opens it up, and takes out a $15,000 check, guys, and puts $15,000 on a $25,000 bill like it was nothing. And that was the day that I found out that this woman had money, okay? But anyway, I know these narcs are crazy. So when I read your email, I felt your pain because I've been there, okay? I've been there, and I know how controlling the money is. And this day was crazy. This day was crazy. But I remember telling my mom. Then, whew, this story is long. On top of that, my dad had a Mercedes Benz, and it was supposed to go to me. So, and it wasn't like a brand new Mercedes Benz, but it was still nice, you know. So my dad had a Mercedes Benz. I didn't even have a license. I still don't have my license. I don't drive. I have a fair driving. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep the car. At the time I had a boyfriend. I said, he drives. Maybe he could drive me around in it. Or maybe I'll just sell it. Do you know what my grandmother did? She took the old lease of the car and my father's death certificate. Now, I had the new lease, okay? And she sold my car for $10,000 and didn't give me the money. And when I spoke to the police and told them what happened, they said, well, you can, because you have the new lease to the car, you can say that the car, you can put a report in saying that your car is stolen. But if you do that, the person that purchased the car from your grandmother can get pulled over and they can get arrested. And, excuse me, I'm hiccuping. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, if I do this person could be like a teacher, I don't know who they are. They probably would be so like, I don't want them to get a record, lose their job. I didn't know who this person was that she sold it to. And I had to just roll it off my back, okay? I mean, these narcs with this money, they're freaking psychopaths. They're crazy. They want to control every dollar. They want to control everything. You would think that a grandmother would love their grandchild to the point she didn't want me to have nothing. And the fact that she hated my mother, of course, if I had my dad's Mercedes Benz, if I would have had life insurance, of course, my mother would have benefited from it because my mom was still alive. My mom and I lived together at the time. So the hate of me and the hate of my mother, this woman basically took everything from me. So when my dad died, I only got $800. Do you hear that? $800. The wealthy grandmother, the narc grandmother, she even had life insurance policy on my father. Do you think that she gave me any money from the life insurance policy? No, she didn't. That is how evil this woman was, okay? Now, granted, I live in the house. I am part owner of the Narcissist home now, today, okay? I live in the home. But, under one circumstance, even in their death, okay, under circumstances, she has a mentally ill son who lives in the house with me. Okay, so before she died, she said, oh, you can live here, but you're going to have to watch over your uncle. Okay, guys, so this is what they do. This is a woman who took, who basically kept everything in order business-wise her whole entire life. But in death, she gave us a big fuck you, okay, and left no will because she wanted everyone to be fighting over her money. I don't fight over anything. All I want, if any property is sold, I want my money, okay? I do have a cousin who stole thousands and thousands of dollars. I am the relative out of everybody who got a shitty insurance check, which, was gone in 2 years, okay? It was shitty money. I, spent half on bills and the other half I invested in a mutual fund. I didn't make money, so I took it out. So I've been through it and I know where you're at, and more money, more problems, okay? And I understand that a lot of us will be sitting around waiting for the narc to die. I've never been like that. Like when my wealthy narc died, I was like, if she leaves me $1, I don't care. That was to the point, because you know why? All that money, let me tell you something. You're going to be sitting there, if you do get money, if you do get life insurance, if you do get some type of property, it's good. But at the same time, I think back to all the disrespect. I think back to how this woman never loved me. This woman didn't like me. This woman used me. I took care of her even when she was dying of freaking cancer. Okay? And basically left me like 50 cents. But the golden child left her over $200,000. Okay? So my point in saying that is money is not going to heal you. It's not going to compare to the disrespect and the hurt and the abuse that you endured. Yeah, it's great. You can go on vacation, buy a couple of nice things, cool, whatever the case. Let me tell you, ever since this narc died, I think I've been sued twice. Twice. I'm not going to get into details because it's nobody's business. But I've been sued twice. Once last year and once this year. Because of the shit that the narcissist left behind with her properties. Okay? So, don't ever think having a lot of money or having property is going to soothe your pain or anything like that. You will feel better. You will feel happier if you survived out there on your own. The only reason why I got anything was because she didn't leave a will. And by law, because my father was her son, is the only reason why I got anything. Okay? So, but it also came with a lot of legal problems where I have to have a lawyer. I have to go to court. Okay? I got sued twice. So stop thinking more money, more happiness. No, more money, more problems. You have to be prepared for that. And you know, me and my uncle live in the house, and I can't sell anything. This man has to die before I see any kind of profit. I'm in my 30s. He's in his 60s. This man can live to his 80s. So I ain't holding my breath waiting on nobody to die. You know, so either eventually, if I get married in the future, I will move out the house. You know, I don't think I will be living, I don't feel I want to live in a house with my husband and my uncle. I just don't feel that way. So my advice, if your name is not going to be on anything, if you feel your relative is not going to leave you anything, leave. But here's the thing. Even if you leave, by law, you're going to get something. If they don't leave a will, they don't put things in writing that leaves you off. You, by law, will get something. You already know how this works. This is how it works. It's crazy how I left, I came back, and then next thing I know, this one was diagnosed with cancer, and I had to take care of her for a year. God always has a funny way of strategically, you know, making certain things happen a certain way. I think that you're comfortable, you're used to the money, you're used to a certain lifestyle, and I get it. I understand. You know, I look at a lot of my friends who pay like $1,400, $2,000 a month in New York, where I never had to pay that. So I'm in your shoes too. I never had to pay that. I remember I lived on my own. I was living in Florida for a whole year. I was paying like $300 for rent. So I never had to pay big rent. Never. Now, in my life, I've endured a lot. So I think that's the reason why God blessed me in that area. We are all blessed in certain areas. You know, like, for me, I have fertility issues, you know. So there's people out there who could pop out babies, but I can't pop out babies like that. I got to go through treatments. I got to do all these different things probably to get pregnant. I can carry them, but is the getting pregnant, you know, that's an issue. So you got to look at your life and be like, wow, God blessed me with this, but I'm not blessed with that. I feel that if you let go, if you move out, and you go on your own, you're probably educated, you probably have great work history from the email that I received from you. We'll chat more. But I think you can do it. If you did it before, you can do it again. But you got to be ready. You have to be ready. Save up your money. Say, screw these family members, and I'm going to go. You got to be ready to, you got to be prepared to be alone. You got to be prepared to be that underdog. You know, you have to be ready to, is my sanity and my peace and my happiness worth more than that? And I can't speak if these, you know, if these people are like billionaires, but yes, my grandmother had millions. My grandmother owns property worth millions combined. Okay, so I don't got none of that money. All that stuff gotta sell. People gotta die for anything to be sold. Okay, so I ain't gonna say I'm poor. I'm middle class. I'm middle class. So I don't have thousands of dollars in my bank. Okay, the golden child does. Her son, I saw her. I ain't gonna repeat how much she left, the money she left her son, but it was close to $1 million that she left her son. Okay, so I'm just blessed to have what I have. Okay, and what I had moved out, I didn't find out, actually, I didn't find out that she left me any insurance money until a week after she was dead. She was buried already and everything. I was just like, oh, well, I'll just stay in this house for a little bit, and I'll just move out. That's just what I thought to myself. Okay, so through the situation dealing with the wealthy narc, I've learned so many things about law. I learned, you know, who I am with no money, who I am with money. Oh my goodness, you ain't gonna believe what happened. Because people knew that my grandmother had money, I lost lots of friends because I don't know what they thought. You know, they thought like maybe she left me like $1 million or something like that. And a lot of people was like, oh, so you own a house now. Ooh, oh, you own property now. Ooh, you got money now. Oh, hey, money bags. So I lost about a good 6 friends off just jealousy alone. Okay, so I don't know what your circle of friends are looking like. But you have to say, am I going to be a slave to the narc's money, or do I want to have freedom? And if I could do it all over again, I would choose freedom. I slept on people's couches. Oh my goodness, I moved all the way to Texas with 1 suitcase. Okay, I left my stuff here, and that's when the narc took my photos and threw them out. My childhood photos and threw them out because I moved away. So I've suffered because of trying to get away and run away. Even my own aunt, my grandmother's daughter, she was the golden child. She left home when she was like 17 and never came back. She ran out of here. The bedroom I sleep in was my aunt's bedroom, and that's why I sleep in it. I can sleep in the biggest room in the house, and I sleep in here because to me it's so sentimental. And but yeah, even my poor aunt, she got the hell away, because you already know how those narc are with their daughters. Those narcs' mothers were with their daughters. So could you imagine what she did to my aunt? Okay, so my aunt ran the hell up out of this house. And I'm so glad I was able to talk about this, because honestly I can't discuss this with my friends because they can't relate. It's not that many black people around me who deal with things like this. I mean, most of my friends, I can't discuss, oh, I have a lawyer and I'm got sued and property laws and this and that. I can't discuss that. So I'm really glad that I was able to do this video, and hopefully it can help somebody And that is my advice to you. Save your money and run. Get the hell up out of there. And most likely you could play the game, and even when you leave, keep in contact. You can play the game. Okay, you can play the narc's game against them if you want to. It's going to take a lot of energy though, but you could play the game so that you can get up in that narc's will. I'm being honest with you. I didn't do that. I didn't kiss her ass for her to, give me anything. I honestly did not. I told you I didn't. So she was buried. I found like a paper. I didn't even know that this woman left me anything. Okay, so I was the last person to be informed that this woman left me any kind of life insurance. All right, everybody's papers were neatly stacked in her drawer, and I did not know that I was given life insurance until I went to her bank, and her banker says, "Oh, there's an annuity here with your name on it," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And when I got the little check, did it change me? No, it didn't. I really thought that a little bit of extra money would have changed me. It didn't change me. It changed everybody around me. Everybody, the people are like that. They go to school, they get degrees. It's cool when they do it. They get married. It's cool when they do it. But as soon as God upgrades you, it's a problem. People get used to you being low. That's when I knew I had too many narcissists and negative people. People like you when you don't have. People love that. People love when they're getting blessed, but you're not getting blessed. They like to keep you in this box. So that's what I have learned in my 30s, okay, that people like to keep you in a box, and as long as they're upgrading and they're making it in life, they're cool with it. They're cool, whatever the case is. So, I don't know what you're going to do, hun. I hope you make the best decision. I mean, you can play the game and do it, but to me, is it really worth it? It's not. It's not worth it. I only stayed in the narc's home because I had to. But I had my plan to escape, and I have escaped many times. Sometimes you got to give your spirit, a break. And I did that 4 times. I moved out, and it was like, what I noticed too? Every time I left the narc's house, it was like my money started flowing better. I was happier. I was meeting nice guys. I'm telling you, I bet when you leave the narc's home, your blessings, a floodgate of blessings. You never know. You could be holding back. God could be waiting for you to leave the narcissist's home. And it's sad. A floodgate of blessings opened up when my the wealthy narc grandmother died. Okay, I mean, things got better. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster in my 30s so far, but things got better. Okay, so I don't know what decision you're going to make, but I'll definitely be keeping you in prayer, and I hope you make the best decision. And anybody out there, if you want to know, do I let go of my wealthy narc? Yes. It doesn't matter if they're poor narc or wealthy narc. Let them go. Unless you want to endure being used and abused. If you can endure that, go ahead and get your coin. Okay, that's what us young folks say. We say get your coin. Okay, so if you want to endure that abuse just for your coin, just for your money, your moolah, do whatever you want to do. But me, my peace and my happiness is worth more than paper. Because that's exactly what money is paper. Okay? I know that the narc abused you so much to the point you feel like you can't make it. It's an illusion. You are better than a narc. You have the skills, and if not, you can learn the skills. If you have a degree, that means that you can go out there and get a job. If you don't have a degree, I suggest you get a trade. In order to make it in this world, you need to have the education, or you got to have the skills to make the money. Okay? So that is my advice to you. Hopefully this was helpful for you. I gotta go eat. I'm starving. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll be doing another video soon. Peace and blessings, everybody. God bless. Talk to you soon.